251,000.
This was the moment British politics became interesting again. A man derided as an out-of-date, left-wing dinosaur, comprehensively winning the fight to lead the Labour Party. His opponents, who had cast him as a relic, surely have to ask themselves, if Jeremy Corbyn is such an old fool, how did he manage to win 60% of the vote? Corbyn himself offered an answer to that question.
As the media and maybe many of us simply didn't understand the views of many young people within our society. They had been written off as a non-political generation who was simply not interested, hence the relatively low turnout and low level of registration of young people in the last general election. They weren't. They're a very political generation that were turned off by the way in which politics was being conducted and not attracted or not interested in it.
In an England which seems entrenched in right-wing politics, Corbyn is as far to the left as any political leader in Europe. He's a pacifist who's against the renewal of British nuclear weapons. He wants a peace conference on Syria rather than the government's proposed bombing campaign. He's equivocal on the European Union and a staunch opponent of the controversial transatlantic trade talks known as TTIP. And he demands that big corporations in London stop avoiding tax. He wants the redistribution of wealth to the poor. So for his growing band of supporters, this victory was like an oasis of hope in a desert of bland corporate politics.
As a socialist leading the Labour Party for the first time in 30 years, what's not to like?
Yet for the architects of Tony Blair's supposedly modern Labour Party, it was a total disaster.
I think it's almost inconceivable that Jeremy Corbyn could lead the party to victory in the 2020 general election, but a lot of people clearly take a different view, and a huge number of people have voted for him today. He has a massive mandate as leader of the party, so he has the right to try to prove people like me wrong.
Jeremy Corbyn supporters know he now faces months, if not years, of open warfare from his political enemies, many inside his own party, and from a corporate media here, which, by and large, despises everything that he stands for. His vision is of a popular movement here, taking on entrenched corporate interests from the bottom up. That either means a road back to relevance for the Labour Party, or potentially the beginning of a funeral procession. Corbyn himself, fresh from victory, was on the road immediately, with the thousands demanding the UK take in more refugees and show the world a compassionate face. The Westminster machine is not used to anything like this. The question is whether the public, so disillusioned with politics, see Corbyn as the man to fight their corner. Lawrence Lee, Al Jazeera, London.